Yeah, you know, I was thinking about getting like a cool street car here, but the traffic here sucks, dude. Like, I lived in Bangkok for 5 years, and what made me move out of Bangkok to move to John Tiem Beach, it made me so furious that I'd be sitting in my condo in Bangkok, and I know my E30 is in the parking deck, and I can't drive it because it's just gonna be a traffic jam. My name's Chad. I'm an American living in BGC Manila and also Pattaya, Thailand. I run a YouTube channel named CB Media. I make content about interesting motorsports and car culture, mostly around Southeast Asia or pretty much anywhere that I find interesting that I want to go there and experience their local car culture. My dad is a car guy, hardcore muscle car enthusiast. I came home from the hospital in a 1970 Chevelle with a small block in it. Like I came home from the hospital in that. My mom was not happy about it, but my dad was like, no, he's going home in the Chevelle. So ever since I was a kid, my dad had, you know, Trans Ams, El Caminos, Mustangs. Yeah. So I really grew up around the muscle car thing. My dad has always owned his own mechanic shop or small used car dealership. And it's funny, on the flip side of that, my grandfather was a professional photographer. Very first camera, I actually have it tattooed on me. This is a full sleeve of everything to do with photography. You'll notice the Photoshop logo. There you go, yeah. Over here you see film strips with the Photoshop tools in it. And then all of this is bokeh, the CB Media logo. But most importantly, is my very first camera was a Nikon D50 with a Nikon Nifty 50, the 50mm 1.8. Wow. So that was my first camera setup. As far as my first shoot goes, honestly, I don't even remember what it was. You know, wait, no. At that time I had a 350Z. And I went out and took photos of my very own 350Z. That's what it was. Yeah, of course. Really, this is before CB Media existed and I was just Chad B Photography. A lot of the major companies, as far as automotive manufacturers, had left California because the taxes were so high. And Georgia, where I'm from, Atlanta, was giving them a bunch of tax breaks. So at that time, I was probably about, I would say 4 years into my photography career. I was shooting for Super Street Magazine, Honda Tuning, Hot Rod Magazine. I was shooting for HRE Wheels, a bunch of big companies. But at that point, when those companies left California and moved to Georgia, I started getting major photo shoot opportunities with Porsche USA, Volkswagen USA, Yamaha USA, major brands where I was in studio for weeks at a time shooting, you know, images for these, you know, these major companies. At that point, I really truly felt like, okay, I made it. If it's a photo shoot for a magazine, say I'm shooting for, back in the day, I was shooting for, you know, many of the popular magazines, then you want to show all aspects of the car. You need the front shot, the 3/4 angle, the rear 3/4 angle, the back shot. You need the engine bay. You need multiple angles of the interior. You need, in my head, when I was shooting a car for a magazine feature, I would have this checklist that I would need to go through. A couple of shots being in the day, a couple of shots being at night, a couple of shots being in the rain, a couple of shots being in the dry. They need to work together as a package. If I'm doing a shoot for an individual, like an individual car owner, in that situation, you can be more artistic because the photos are just used for personal use, for personal enjoyment. And once again, what I was just talking about, how the evolution of cameras, I mean, I attend events all the time and I will shoot photos of the event with my iPhone. I come back, drop them on my laptop, pull them up in Photoshop, and I post that group of photos on Instagram. And my photos are better than what some people shoot with their DSLR. A car that I featured recently is owned by a buddy of mine in Bangkok, and it's a Lamborghini Aventador Liberty Walk, but it was built on a Toyota chassis. So it's not actually a Lamborghini or an Aventador, but you look at it and you're like, that's a Lamborghini Aventador, Liberty Walk, wide body on air ride. But it's actually a Toyota chassis, and then they cut the Toyota chassis in half, and then they built the rear half completely custom. They put a mid-mounted Mitsubishi 3000 GT VR4 engine in the rear. The entire inside of the tub is the interior from a Civic FK8. So it has a Civic dashboard and steering wheel, and it has BMW M5 brakes, and I can't remember what the suspension is, but it's just all these different brands put together. And when you actually see the car, you're like, that's a wide body Aventador. When I first started, I was producing like 2 to 3 videos a week. Then once I gained success, I kind of dropped that down to like 4 to 6 videos a month. Now I'm at like 3 to 4 a month. And I've learned that it is a marathon, not a sprint. And I've learned that the hard way by getting burnt out multiple times. I still get millions of views a month. My content sometimes doesn't do as good as it did a couple years ago, but I'm able to have longevity in this space instead of just getting burnt out, going screw this, and then just walking away. My personal project is in Thailand, and it's a BMW E30, affectionately known as Cream Pie. That's my car's nickname. It's spelt CREAMPAI. And the reason for this is the city of Pai in northern Thailand has the best driving roads possibly in all Southeast Asia. It's called the Mae Hong Son Loop. And so it's a loop around northern Thailand, which is based in the city of Pai. So it's a funny name for my car. It's a total monster. It's a BMW E30 Coupe that's been fully restored using a Pandem wide body kit. It's powered by an S65 M3 V8. So it's the 4-liter V8 with the factory ITBs, makes 350 wheel horsepower, 290 wheel torque, side pipes, shoots 1-foot flames. I have that and a modified Yamaha X-Max 300. I used to have an Evo 9, had electric blue Evo 9. I recently sold that about 3 months ago because I was anticipating getting a second condo here in Manila, and I wanted the funds to get something here potentially. Yeah, you know, I was thinking about getting like a cool street car here, but the traffic here sucks, dude. Like, I lived in Bangkok for 5 years, and what made me move out of Bangkok to move to John Tiem Beach, it made me so furious that I'd be sitting in my condo in Bangkok, and I know my E30 is in the parking deck, and I can't drive it because it's just gonna be a traffic jam. I'm considering maybe just buying or building a track car and then keeping it up at Clark. And then when I wanna go drive, jump on the bus, 400 pesos up to Clark, and then just go drive for the day. I did a photo shoot for a buddy of mine in the US, and I got to drive his car. He let me drive it. The newer generation Audi R8 with the underground racing twin turbo kit on it, 1,200 horsepower. It was comfortable, had nice seats, had the dual clutch automatic transmission. It drove like a stock car until you got to about 50% throttle and the boost came on and it just ripped your face off. I'm 6'4", so I don't fit well in the Lambos, but the R8, ton of headroom, ton of legroom, nice build quality, faster than anything that you could ever run up against on the road. Actually, I want to dive really deep into and document the American style low-riding car culture in Tokyo. There's these Japanese guys where if you look at them, you're like, that's a Mexican dude from Southern California. But he's not. He's a Japanese dude, and he drives a 64 Impala on hydraulics. And like, I just want to know why, how, and what. During the global pandemic, I had what was arguably the best time of my life was riding an Aerox 155 scooter, motorbike, around the provinces of Thailand during the middle of the pandemic. I couldn't film car videos. I couldn't film motorsports or car shows because, you know, of what was going on in the world. Everything was shut down. So I had to continue to create content. And what I chose to do was to get a little motorbike and ride it around Thailand. And I'm considering possibly doing the same thing here. Exploring the Philippines, Leyte, and like with the ferries, and just do island hopping around Bohol, around like Iloilo, and like I've looked at Google Maps because, so here's the thing. At this point, I've probably spent almost a year in the Philippines. Okay. But you know what's crazy? I've never touched sand. I really want to see El Nido. I've heard Siquijor is amazing. My friends have told me Siquijor is amazing. I hope people say they discovered interesting car culture because of me. Whether that be the Thai longtail boats, or whether that be the crazy OTJs, or that be the dune racing in Dubai. I hope people discovered an interesting form of motorsports that they did not know existed because of my videos. Thank you for interviewing me. Final words is I appreciate the support from all my Filipino friends who have been watching my content for many years at this point. I've been doing YouTube coming up on 6 years, and it's been an amazing experience. If I wanted to buckle down and really pump out content, we could get to 1 million. But again, it goes back to that thing I talked about earlier about being on cruise control, being happy, being content. My goal is to create unique content that I enjoy making, that I think other people would enjoy watching. Shout out to Vroom Media for the interview. I appreciate you guys' support. And remember, shift happens.